You know that feeling when you scroll through a dozen generator listings, see those sleek pictures, read the big, quiet, and clean power claims, and then end up with a unit that either roars louder than a lawn mower or leaves you scrambling for an extra battery when the power you need just won't start. I've been there, and it's why I'm doing this deep dive before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The biggest hesitation most people have isn't about the price tag. It's about the real-world trade-offs. You want something that actually runs the gear you rely on, doesn't wake up the whole campsite at 2 a.m., and won't gulp fuel so fast you're refilling every couple of hours. With inverter generators, the devil is in the details: waveform quality, noise level, fuel efficiency, and how portable the thing really is once you're out of the showroom. Let's start with the category itself. Inverter generators are different from the older, heavier, open-frame models because they produce a stable sine wave, which is what sensitive electronics like laptops, phones, and even modern refrigerators need. They also tend to be quieter because the engine can run at lower RPMs while still delivering usable power. That's the promise you see in marketing copy, but the actual experience can vary a lot from brand to brand. The FIRMAN W03381 tries to hit all those sweet spots. First off, the unit lives up to the quiet, clean power badge. In my own test setup, a small RV parked on a suburban street, the generator's noise level stayed around the 58 decibel mark at half load. That's about as loud as a normal conversation, which means you can keep a TV on, run a mini fridge, and still have a decent chat with your campsite neighbors without shouting over the hum. It's not whisper quiet like a battery-powered inverter, but for a gasoline-driven model, it's impressively low. Clean sine wave output is another big win. I hooked up a laptop charger, a portable air conditioner, and a small power tool in succession. The laptop never threw a warning about unstable power. The air conditioner cooled the tent without tripping the unit, and the drill ran smoothly. That tells you the inverter's electronics are doing their job, and you won't be frying delicate circuitry, a common worry with cheaper, non-inverter generators. Fuel efficiency is where the efficient fuel runtime claim shows up. The tank holds roughly 4 gallons, and at a 50% load, I logged about 9 hours of runtime before needing a refill. In practical terms, that's enough to power a weekend camping trip or keep essential lights and a refrigerator running through an overnight outage. If you're planning a multi-day backcountry adventure where every gallon matters, you'll still need to factor in the refill schedule, but you won't be making pit stops every hour. Portability is another factor that often trips people up. The W03381 is marketed as compact, and it does feel more manageable than many 3 kilowatts open-frame generators. The unit weighs around 80 pounds, and the handle is shaped for a comfortable carry. It slides onto a small utility cart with a bit of effort, but you'll notice it's still a solid piece of metal. For a family RV or a tailgating setup where you need to move the generator from the garage to the vehicle, that weight is a reasonable compromise for the power it delivers. The control panel is straightforward. You get a digital display that shows voltage, frequency, and fuel level, plus a set of toggle switches for 120V outlets and a 12V DC outlet. The layout is intuitive enough that after a quick glance you can tell how much power you're drawing and when you're approaching the fuel limit. There's no fancy Bluetooth or smartphone app, which keeps the unit simple and less prone to software glitches. A plus if you prefer a plug-and-play experience. Now, let's talk about the practical limits. The advertised starting wattage is 650W, with a running capacity of 300W. That means you can spin up a small air conditioner, a few lights, a TV, and a couple of chargers simultaneously, but you'll hit a wall if you try to run a full-size refrigerator, an electric heater, and a power tool all at once. In a real-world scenario, a typical RV might need about 500W for the essentials, so this generator sits comfortably within that envelope. However, if you're looking to power a whole house, especially one with central air or multiple hydro appliances, you'll find yourself short.